Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Hello, everyone. We'll get started shortly here. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started shortly. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Kawisi, welcome.
Thank you, David. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Bill, welcome, Bill.
Hey, David.
Hello, Bill. Welcome, welcome. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Zaire, welcome, welcome, Zaire. We'll get started shortly here. This evening, we'll go over stocks, options, and ETFs. Stocks, options, and ETFs. We'll get started shortly. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Stella, welcome. Welcome, Stella. We'll get started shortly. Again, we'll go over stocks, options, and ETFs. We're starting to see moves in ETFs for the first time in a while. We'll get started. Hey, Tracy, welcome, Tracy. Welcome.
Hey, David.
Hello. We'll get started shortly. Again, stocks, options, and ETFs this evening. And we might spend some time on the other markets. Lots going on in cryptos, the dollar, and in the yen pair. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started here. So let me share my trading screen. All right. Right. Okay. You guys should see, yes, you should see my trading screen here. Monster Market Tracker. All right, nothing has changed in the markets. All right. So I'll go through, let me go through, do a market update, and then we'll open the floor for any questions. All right, so here is we've moved our time frames to weekly. So as things are starting to open up a bit, we've moved it from daily to weekly on the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell. And as you guys can see, this was a big area here of support. We'd been watching and we've broken support, definitely on the daily timeframes, but also on the weekly timeframe. So these are big moves that's happening. All right. So we are definitely in the markdown phase for each of these indexes here. All right. And as you guys, we always have to remember that the overall market, right, stocks will follow these indexes. All right. So we always want to keep that in mind. All right. Hey, Gerald, welcome. All right. That the overall indexes, when they move either long, right, in that markup phase, or short in that markdown phase, stocks in general will follow them. All right. So market is definitely bearish. All right. Definitely bearish. And I will see that as we move through the sectors and stocks. All right. The VIX is at 31. All right. So I'm surprised the VIX isn't higher. All right. But it's holding at 31. This is going to be an area here for the VIX. Resistance is right here, right at around 37. Right, it's been bouncing off that number here. If it gets above 30, if it gets above, I would say 40 right here, we could see this market really make a big move to the downside. Okay, but it's holding above 20. All right, it is holding above 20, which is bearish for the market. All right. As far as the sectors, stay away from these sectors here. All right. Like I said, volatility is up. VIX is moving higher. All the indexes are down. They're moving to the downside, as you guys can see here from the price action. All right. All the sectors that we track the top sectors that the big institutions like to trade. They're all down. Two is neutral. Energy is up. Energy is the only safe play if you want to go long. So, all right. So if you're looking to go long stocks, energy is the only play, but still need to be careful. Here is energy here. All right. So natural gas, gasoline, crude oil, right? They're moving higher. All right. But again, be careful because the overall market is moving lower. All right. Let's take a look at Stock Boss. We're getting fewer opportunities in Stock Boss right now. All right, and this is to be expected. The cool thing about Stock Boss and Heat Seeker with Stock Boss and Bullmaster is that we go long. This is a long system. So what happens is this: when the market goes bearish, these systems will dry up, right? So basically, we'll have very few opportunities in those systems, and just think of it as a safeguard, right? It's forcing us not to get into trades. Okay, forcing us not to trade because guess what? We shouldn't be trading. All right. So as the market's moving lower, as these indexes are moving lower, Heat Seeker basically comes to a halt. So we have only 4 opportunities here, and they're not even ready, right? Nothing is ready right now. So we shouldn't be trading stock boss. All right. Bull master. Same thing with bull master. All right. If you have here, we see a few and a couple of two energy stocks here. And usually when the markets, when things are really moving in the market, we'll see several pages of stocks available. All right. So again, this is a safeguard for us to keep us from not trading. All right, because we really shouldn't be trading long when the market is short like this. All right. Energy stock, if you wanted to take a play in long, right? Energy here. Let me do this. So you've got two energy stocks here. DNO, buy signal right here. It's moving higher. And here's another energy stock right here. It's been VTNR, buy signal right here. It's still holding. And that's about it. Not a lot of opportunities in stocks right now to go long. All right, to go long. We are seeing, for the first time in a while, we're seeing more opportunities in Monster ETF. All right. And the way this system works is whenever the market really gets bearish, right, means it's going lower, this system here will start to really give us some good opportunities. What we are starting to see here in Monster ETF are short opportunities. Okay, so the way this works is these are ultra shorts. Okay, so ultra shorts, these ETFs, as the market comes down, these ETFs, okay, a lot of investors will run to ETFs and trade these ETFs long. All right, meaning we can trade them up as the market goes down. So here is an ultra short tech. So technology, ultra short technology. So as technology sector is going lower, right, lower, here is an ETF, ultra short technology ETF that's going higher. Got a buy signal here. These are good plays. Buy signal here, and they're not very expensive, right? This is $19. So if you wanted to take a position, all right, betting that the market is going to the NASDAQ technology stocks will go lower, right? We can trade this ETF long, all right? Here's ultra short Qs. So the NASDAQ, the QQQ, right? Ultra short, all right? Here's a buy signal right here. Break up this resistance here, and it's moving higher. So we're starting to see a lot of momentum starting to shift in some of these ETFs. All right, and we've got, here's the Russell. All right, here's the Russell right here. So as the Russell, right, we looked at the Russell. As the Russell's moving lower, right, here's the short side of it. And we can trade that up to the upside in ETFs. But keep in mind, these are ETFs. All right. So we are starting to see a lot of short, all these here, short ETFs, short ETFs, short ETFs. All right. That's moving higher. All right. In the futures market, the equity markets right now in the futures, right? So the E-mini, so the E-mini Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell, they're somewhat flat up, but somewhat flat. All right. And same thing here, same thing in the futures market. The dollar is up, so we're seeing the dollar continuing to move higher. All right, the dollar is continuing to move higher. But as far as the indexes, sectors, they're moving lower. All right, so that's the update on the market. You guys can, any questions you have for me, any symbols you want to take a look at, any trades you want to take a look at, we'll open up the floor right now. All right, so go ahead, any questions, guys? Any questions for me?
Yeah, David, can you take a look if you got a sell signal for me on the DAL?
DAL, what time frames are here?
240.
240. All right. DAL. All right, so let's do this. We do not have a sell signal yet, but it should come soon. Okay.
Is it
All
60 or the 240?
Either the 60 or the 240. Okay, so we've got,
right.
What's that, Zaire?
No, I think on the right you have the weekly.
On the right. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's change that. All right. Okay. So 240. All right. We do have a, oof. And on the 60. That's an ugly 240 chart. We might have to open up that chart a bit. Let's do this. And I assume you're looking to go short?
Yeah, I have a few puts on it. Yeah, short.
You in it already? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like the 240. Let's see what it looks like on the daily. Oof. All right. Not a pretty chart, but let's see here. Okay, so you've got, this helps a bit. You've got clear support in this range here, clear resistance. Here is resistance in this area here. So 45 Zaire is your resistance. I would say, I mean, we could count this area here as support. There's pretty good support right here. But we'll look at where the system gave. So here we've got pretty good support. The price is right at 36, so it's closed right here. This is where the previous support closed, right? Failed. Sell short signal right here, failed here. All right. And then we had another sell short signal that failed here. All right. So this is an important area. Even when it broke down, right, it didn't last long. Price came right back up, similar to here. All right. Where did you get in as far as your puts? What price?
Oh, I got in about 37.
37. Okay, so right around here. Let's see here. You might have to trade it on the 60. We're not getting a lot of good data. Let's see on the weekly. Let's see here. Yeah. All right, so it's not clear. This one is not clear. All right. Yes, I mean, can you break support and move down? It looks like perhaps 35 might be a really good support, right, to get through this area in here. But it struggled. I mean, it struggled quite a bit, right? Quite a bit to break through. So, I mean, buyers could come back in right here at this support and push it higher. As far as your potential to the downside, mm, I don't know. I would say if you're holding this, the only clear picture is on the 60-minute. So I would say here is your 60-minute, Zaire. You got in at 30. I would bring in an RSI. You need to be nimble with this trade. There is not a clear path here. Let's see here. So let's bring in an RSI. All right. Okay, so your entry was over here. You might be late on this trade. Your entry was 37 right here. The better entry on would have been on the 60-minute, would have been at 40, 42. All right. Let's see here. You've got some that 60-minute, it's still holding the trade. I would say just hold it. It's oversold. It's oversold over here, oversold on the 60-minute time frame. I wouldn't go as far as the 240. I mean, you could get, it could break down, but it's you know, there's a lot of consolidation. You could get a move like this where it comes down like this, and then you start getting buyers in. 32 is where the buyers really came in the last time. All right, right around 30, yeah, 32, right in here is where it held support. All right. I would say you're a bit late in it. There isn't, I don't see any major, you know, potential to the downside. I would just say be quick. Let me take a look again at the 240. One more time at the 240. 240, you're getting oversold on the 240, right? You're not there yet, but it's starting to get oversold on the 240. So you could get, that's the concern with this, is that it's got tight consolidation between support and resistance. And you're playing in oversold territory. Okay, so kind of like this. All right, but you might get a push down. I would just watch it. This is a tricky trade. All right, you're in oversold territory on basically all of the time frames. All right, and no clear trend on any of the time frames. It's a lot of consolidation. All right, does that help a bit?
Yeah, thanks, David. I'll just watch it. If anything, I'll just get out.
Yeah, I would the only clear path for you, and that doesn't mean that we have a sell short signal. I mean, it could make a move, it could make a quick move down, get really oversold, but then the buyers will come in pretty quickly. Because what's happening here is traders are watching this, And all they're doing is they're trading it between the zones, between support and resistance. That's all they're doing. They're taking it back and forth, back and forth. So, you know, as it becomes oversold, right? Oversold down in here, guess what? They look to push it higher. All right. So you might get caught, right? You might get caught down in this area here if you're getting puts down there. All right. So, all right. Any other trades? Any other symbols you guys want to take a look at, or any ideas that you guys have or want to talk about? While you guys are thinking, and interrupt me at any time, we are starting to, and I want to talk a little bit about the dollar. All right, the dollar. You guys should be in the dollar. All right, we are starting to see some short opportunities in the yen. All right, some short opportunities in the yen. This looks like it might fail. So the pound yen. So we might start to see, right? If this moves higher, right? The yen, the futures yen, we could see the yen pairs really, they're starting to break down to the downside. Okay, but the dollar is the biggest trade right now. The dollar is the biggest trade. Cryptos. All right, so Bitcoin is still trading below 30,000. All right, still trading below 30,000. We still have a target here. Near-term target on Bitcoin is, we have a near-term target of 20,000. So next, as far as support, all right, right at 20,000 is support right here for Bitcoin. Overnight, Bitcoin made a low. Let's see here, a low of 25, guys, 25,338. All right, made a low overnight. All right, that's low. All right, so it made a low there. Like I said, 20,000 is near-term support. All right, so we've had some support. Let me open this up here. Any questions on Bitcoin? Any lessons? Any lessons on Bitcoin? Any lessons?
So, David, on Bitcoin, we just need to just wait until it reaches that support level of 20,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, so 20,000, we've got a long way to go if we wanted to buy, right? So, but 20,000 is where it might hit some support. It might start to stable.
Okay.
All right, stabilize. But it might go through that. And then the largest support area is 10,000.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but no, we're a long way from getting in Bitcoin.
Okay.
All right. But there should be lessons in this. There should be a lot of lessons for all of us in Bitcoin, you know, as traders, what we should do and what we should not do, right? And this is how we learn next time. Let's see here. Let's do this. All right, so here is our sell short signal right here. All right, right here. The 20,000 support is right here. So Tracy, this is where it had the most difficult time getting through. Okay, but down in this area in here, I can't pull it up for whatever reason. Hold on. Get more data. Oh, let's see. Very strange. But anyway, the 10,000 mark, the 10,000 mark right here, right here is where Bitcoin had a difficult time breaking, right? That 10,000 mark, right? Yeah, right about in here, right about here. So if what it looks like the price is doing, it looks like if it does have a clear path to 10,000. There is a clear path to 10,000. All right. So
Okay.
this isn't very good support here. All right. Here, 10,000, we've got better support. All right.
Okay.
So right now, for the longs to get excited about Bitcoin, it would have to hold that 30,000 mark. It has to hold that 30,000 mark, and it's trying right now, right? It's really trying. It's got to get back, hold. I mean, it's near 30,000. It's at 28. You guys see it moving here. It's at 28,900. All right. So it's right near that 30,000 mark. It needs to consolidate in here, consolidate right at that 30,000 mark, and then bring buyers back in. If it doesn't hold, I mean, it's struggling to hold. If it doesn't hold, all right, and then the next support will be, like I said, 20,000, but we don't have a major support there, right? But if I think, right, and anything can happen, but I think if it doesn't hold, 30,000, right? And we'll know next week, right? We'll know next week if it doesn't hold that 30,000 support, then the next target will be 10,000.
Okay. What time frame is that, David?
This is on the daily.
Okay.
We can move it to the weekly. All right. On the weekly time frame, we can see a much clearer picture. All right. And the reason I ask if there are any lessons here is that this is why we do this, so that we don't get caught up with everyone else, right? That's in these trades like this, right? We want to be out, or we want to be shorting, or for a lot of us, right, we just want to wait, right? Let the carnage happen, right? And then wait to get back in, like the way you're thinking, Tracy, right? When do we get back in? But we have to wait, right? It's a long wait. This right here, look, let me bring in a buy signal. So what phase are we in? What phase are we in right now on the weekly time frame?
It's in a markdown phase.
Markdown, very good. Markdown. Very good. All right, so here was our previous buy signal on the weekly. This right here, this price action here looks very different from this price action here. All right, this price action here is very different. This is the markup, this is the markdown. All right, and we've got an early sell short signal on the break of this support here on the weekly. That's why I'm saying we can really go a lot lower. All right. If you guys look here at that 20,000 mark, and you can see it's more defined on the weekly. So here was where it made a low, right? This was overnight. This was overnight. It made a low right here. Here is 20,000 right here. Here is 20,000. So it's not far from 20,000, but 10,000, right? The previous buy signal was right at 10,000. Right at 10,000 was the previous buy signal. All right. And then the previous buy signal to that right over here was at around 7,000. All right. So this was a big area. That's what I'm saying, right? The realistic area for the price to go is at that 10,000 mark. All right. And that would be painful. That would be very painful. Right. Go ahead, Tracy.
No, I was just saying thank you.
Yeah, you're
for
welcome.
clarification.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an early, and if you guys look here, these are all the major cryptos are starting to trend. You guys remember a week ago, they were all in the teens, and now they're in their 30s. So they're trending higher. They're trending higher, but they're trending to the downside, right? So they're trending higher, but they're trending to the downside. That's a lot of selling here. And what will happen, you'll find traders will start to get in, right? They'll start to get in thinking, hey, it's a cheap price, right? It's a good price, but the selling isn't over yet. All right, so we have to wait for the selling for it to go through that markdown phase. You guys know about this, right? It's got to go through that markdown phase, complete that markdown phase. All right, accumulate, right? Kind of like here, accumulate. We don't even have new support and resistance yet. All right, so a lot has to happen before we get new support and resistance lines. So, all right, but this is a good example of what we shouldn't do. What we shouldn't do. Anyone in the dollar pairs? Bill, I know you're in.
Yeah, I'm still in that. I got out of the dollar CAD a couple of days ago.
Dollar CAD.
Yeah, I was in it. I've been in and out of that for I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I'm still in the Chinese the CNH. Yeah, I'm still in there.
Okay. There isn't a lot going on with stocks right now, right? There just isn't. So we've got to focus on these other markets. Yen pairs, they've jumped up quite a bit. All right. Now the yen pairs will kind of go do the same thing with the equity. They tend to follow the equity markets here, a lot of the yen pairs. All right. I still think if we only have limited amount of capital, we can't trade everything. All right. So I still think based on this dollar move, I think this is a big move in the dollar that can happen here. I still think the best opportunity, you can't trade everything, right? Are the dollar pairs, right?
David,
Yes, Stella.
yeah, I have a question about the yen pairs.
Okay.
I tried after missing this big run on the dollar pairs. I was trying to kind of do the 30-minute and the hour.
Okay.
But it just with my schedule, it's very hard
Yeah.
for me to do the 30 minutes. So I caught a few of the yen pairs as they were going down.
Okay.
So I entered a few of them, and I'm just trying to figure out the management of the trade.
Okay. Okay.
And so this is the dollar index. What's the index for the yen, and does, you know, what's the correlation with the pairs?
Okay. So I like to use the pound yen as the barometer for the yen pairs.
Okay.
All right. And now here is the yen. This is the yen, the raw yen in the futures market. I haven't used this a lot. It's been flashing. It's, you know, obviously it gave a sell short signal here. The way it's worked in the past, and quite honestly, I haven't used it a lot. I'm starting to use it a lot more now. Now that we're going to be trading futures a lot more. All right. And I'll work on this. I've got to study this some more to see the correlation. Generally, this is what happens when the yen goes down like this in the futures market. What we'll notice is that the yen pairs over here will move higher. All right. And they were moving higher. Now they're moving lower. So what I'm hoping to find, and these correlations will change, right? And that's why we have to be careful with these correlations. They're not always exact, and they're not always timely. All right. The VIX, we know the VIX really works, right, with the equity markets. There is a correlation with the yen and the overall market, the equity markets. Okay, there is a correlation with the yen pairs and the equity markets. And if we can find, and I think we might have a correlation with the actual yen, right? I know the yen pairs work. The last crash we had in 2008 was right here. This is the pound yen. So when our markets failed and crashed, guess what? The pound yen did the same thing. All the yen pairs also crashed. So these were amazing opportunities. Okay. It might be the same thing here. So if I just have to study this a bit more. But I think see, like right here, this is my concern with using this. I would love to use it because it's a futures, right? So but if you guys notice here, 2008, 2006, 7, 8, 2008, it went up. Let's take a look at, right, 2008. Here's the pound yen going down. See, here is the pound yen, 2007, 2008, the pound yen is going down. Here, 2007, 2008, it went up. So it's done the reverse. Okay, that's why I'm not studying this as much. But what I do know is this. When our market becomes bearish like it is now, all right, the yen pairs become bearish. All right. So, but let's take a look at what positions are you still in those short positions, Stella?
Yeah, I'm in, I think 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, which ones?
So here, let me tell, sorry, trying to open my, 1 sec. All right, so Euro JPY.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you had some more?
Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah. So Euro JPY, CAD, JPY, USD JPY. And then it kicked me. I got out of NZD JPY.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what time frame?
240.
Were you trading them on the 240 or 60 or 30?
240.
Okay.
Yeah, because the 30 was, it's just. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay. So
I
you've
can't
moved.
do the 30.
Okay.
I tried.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, yeah. Especially when things are trending, we want to really bring it to the 240. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So 240.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you moved to the 240.
Yeah, I learned my lessons. Yeah.
All right. So
So
go ahead.
yeah, so Euro JPY, I took it at 136.576.
Okay, 130. So right near the sell short signal.
Yeah. So I was
Okay.
watching for the signal. So I try to take them as close to the
Okay.
signal.
All right. So you got in. Okay, so right here, right about here,
Yeah.
136.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
Good job. And you're still in it?
So I'm still in it.
Okay. Okay. Good job.
And so do I put a stop at that, where that support line is? You know, like,
Okay. Well, you know we don't do stops.
oh, I'm trying not to go to bed and lose my mind.
You know we don't do stops, right?
Huh.
I know.
Okay. So we wait until we get an exit signal.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you want to, if you really want to put a stop, right? If you really have to put a stop, a safe place to do it would be above here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Above.
I'm thinking lower. All right. Got it.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Okay. Got it. I mean, a lot has to happen for the price to go all the way up there, back up there. So.
But if you put it anywhere, this is all trading territory, okay? So I mean, it can pull back all the way up.
That's how it kicked me out of the NZD, NZD JPY, because I had put a stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, you won't sleep that long, Stella.
This is a 240.
Yeah, this is a 240, but you gotta let it, you gotta let it do its thing. You remember, Travis trade, right? So he was in this trade a long time, right? So if he just had to put a stop, right, you would have to put that stop underneath, below that support.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Yeah, you have to put it below, because otherwise that price is that price it can bounce around in that area, right, and kick you out of the trade. And what could happen is you've got a really good trade going, right? This is an absolute good trade, and you caught it perfectly, right? You caught it perfectly right near the sell short signal, right? And this is a good trade. You're in the money, right? But it's not over yet. Okay. So if you put a stop anywhere in here, right, you're gonna get stopped out.
Yeah.
And that's not trading. That is not trading. All right. When would we get, based on how the four market phases work, support and resistance, right? The systems work. When would you get a sell signal if the trade goes against you short? So if this trade goes against you short, right, based on the four market phases, let's do this, because this is important. All right, I'm going to share. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so if we go in short, you guys should see the four market phases there. If we're going short, right, the price goes against us, where would we get a sell signal on the system of we call it a buy to cover. So if you go in short here in that markdown phase, that's what you're doing, Stella, right? You caught it right here, and now you're going to that markdown phase, right? Where would, based on the system and the four market phases, where would price have to be for the system to close the trade? And for you to exit the trade?
So at the break of the most recent support.
Mm-mm.
The
And you
most
guys can
recent
help her also.
When it begins to consolidate,
When it can, yeah, and then does what?
Break of
and
resistance.
then it break a
And break
resistance. Yeah.
resistance.
Very
Okay,
good.
got it.
Break
Got it.
resistance.
Got it.
Very good. That means buyers are now in control. Remember, we want to buy on a break of resistance, sell on a break of support. Buy on a break of resistance, sell on a break of support. When we go in short, we want to sell short on a break of support and buy back. And I know we don't talk about this a lot. And we're going to buy back or buy to cover on a break of resistance. Okay. So, let's do this, Stella. Let's go back to your screen. And what I'm going to challenge you to do with these trades here is just hold on. All right. So it would have to get back to this. Right now, it has no support, right? No resistance. We can call this resistance right here. But it doesn't have, we can call this resistance right here. All right. But the current trade that you're in, guess what? There's no support and resistance, no new support and resistance created. So it's still trading. You got to let it do its thing. You just got to sit back. Yeah, you just got to sit back and just turn off your phone, turn off your P&L, watch the chart, right? And if it just, if it comes back, gives your sell signal, kicks you out, right? It's no big deal. You just have to follow the process. You have to follow this is what's hard, but once you get it, game over. Once you get this, once you're able to stay in the trade, right? And you've done it a few times, right? If it's difficult to do, reduce your size, your account, the amount that you trade to the ridiculous. But yeah, you have to stay in these trades.
Hey, David, why was that sell signal right there so late and with all those white cams?
This sell signal right here, sell short?
No, not the sell short, from the previous sell short and then the sell.
Right here?
Yeah. And then you see the accumulation. That it looks like it's kind of late right there. Does it look kind of late?
No,
Not really?
That's pretty good.
That's what you want? That's what you want, huh?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty good there. You mean in late in the length of candles?
Yeah, in the length of candles. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. The length of candles. That's a lot of accumulation there.
Yeah, but if you notice, it accumulated, but price didn't go anywhere.
Right. Okay.
It really started when the buyers really started to get in, when it looked like it was going to hit resistance and really take off. That's when it gave the sell signal, because all of this whole area here, it could have still gone.
It could have kept. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, this is still pretty tight here. All right. So Stella, I'm going to challenge you here. Okay.
It's what's happening with the USD JPY too.
Okay, let's take a look at this. All right. So yeah, this is a great trade. Your timing is perfect. You're right. You've got a nice move down. Let it do its thing. There's nothing to do. There's absolutely nothing to do, right? It hasn't consolidated. Buyers are not in. You've got red candles. You can't, this is a perfect trade. Absolute perfect trade. Which one was the next one? USD?
It was CAD and
CAD JPY.
CAD and yeah,
And
CAD
where,
JPY.
and where was your entry?
The entry was at 99.8836.
Okay, so right here was your entry. Another good trade, right? Another good trade. You've got it held, it made a low here, and you've got some support down right here. All right, you've got some support, but guess what? Sellers are still in control, right? No white candles. Sellers are in control. You're trading in that is clearly the markdown phase, right? You're in the markdown phase. You do have a white support and resistance here. So what that means is you've got within the markdown phase, you've got higher highs, higher lows. Okay, so that's a bit of concern. That's a bit of concern, but it's no, you shouldn't be getting out of the trade. Okay, so hold on to this. Another good trade. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes and breathe. Close your eyes and breathe. All right. All right. And what's the next one?
USD JPY. That's it.
All right. USD JPY. USD JPY. And where was your entry? What price?
129.772.
129. 129.772. Right up here, Stella. These are great entries. These are great entries. Good job. Yeah, good job. Your challenge now. Let's take a look at the one that you got kicked out of. So
Yeah, I had put a stop. NZD JPY.
NZD JPY. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Where
Yeah.
was your entry?
It was at 80, I think it was like 83.5 something.
Stella.
I put a stop.
Stella. All right. 83.5. My goodness, you caught all this. All right. So 83.5 was right here, right at that sell short signal. And
Yeah.
then where did you put a stop?
I put it at like where that purple support is.
Here or
No,
here?
that one. Yes, I put it right there.
Okay.
And then I got kicked out.
And you got kicked out. You
Yeah.
made money, but you got kicked out, huh?
Yeah.
So how do you feel? How does it feel about, how do you feel about that?
Well, when I came on the call, I was coming to find out where to put my stops. Now I feel like I made a mistake.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because guess what? It went down lower, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not just you've lost an opportunity here, right, to do well, but you didn't follow the rule, right? So and that's okay. We're still learning, but try to minimize these mistakes, okay? Because the goal is we want to get to the point where we're following the process so that we gain confidence, right? The more we do it the right way, right, the more confidence we'll get, right? So that you'll get to the point where Travis, it was the other night, I think Travis talked about, I think it was last night, right? He talked about his trade and Peter was asking, you know, how do you stay in the trade, right? On the 240, because he has a hard time doing that, right? And what happens is this after, and Travis has done this for a while, right? He's done it, and he hasn't been trading long. I think he's been trading 4 months with us, okay? But he's been following the process, and as hard as it is, right, he stays in those trades. So what happens after a while, after you do it, right, you kind of know where it's going to go, right? And even if it turns out, doesn't turn out, that's okay, right? The next one might. But the anxiety that you feel, right, and we all do when we're not following the process, the anxiety that you feel, the reason that it's difficult to sleep at night is because of these putting in these stop losses and stuff. Otherwise, if you look here, all these red candles right here, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. All these red candles here, you could go, if I was in this trade right here, I could go to sleep, right? I could go to sleep and it's no big deal because I know what sellers are in control. So these movements, these up and down movements in here, right? That's no big deal. That's what price does. It's going to do that, right? It's going to move up and down. But guess what? We know we're in the markdown phase. We know we have a sell short signal. Sellers are in control. All right. There's nothing to do. The only time, right, we need to pay attention, all right, is when we have, we get some yellow support and resistance. But even with that, that's not a big concern. All right. When we get white candles, yes, we can now pay it. We don't close the trade. We just pay attention, right? Definitely when we get green candles, then we want to really pay attention to the trade. Okay. And then by the time we get a sell signal, we need to know that we need to close the trade. Okay, but let the trade, that's going to be your challenge with the trades that you have now, right? That you're in. The other 3 trades, your job is to control your emotions, right? And I know it's hard. It sounds easy to do, right? But when you're in the trade, you've got money in the trade, right? It's hard to do, but it's what we have to do. We have to let the trades play out. Okay. So your job with these trades here is just to let them run their course and let them tell you. You don't decide, right? If you just have to, right? And I know you won't do this, and traders don't do this, right? You're gonna put the stop right in here. We're not gonna put it in here, right? If we are going to put it, right? So let's say you're going to put it here, up in this area in here, probably not even in here, put it up in here. All this is tradable, all in this area. It can pull back, Stella, all the way back up in here and then continue down. All right, it can do that. It can pull all the way. Look here. Here was your entry right here. It went all the way back up, right up here, all the way back up here, right here. Here was your entry. There was your entry here. All right, it came all the way down here, went up all the way back up, got you out, and then guess what? Came all the way back down. All right, lots of emotion is in this. You don't want to be doing this. There's a lot of emotion. You did perfect entries. Your entries on all 4 was absolutely perfect. All right, absolutely perfect. But we can have perfect entry, all right? And depending on how we manage this process right here, we'll give it all back. Or as a matter of fact, we can take a perfect entry like this, perfect trade, and end up losing money in that trade because of how we manage it. So I'm glad you wanted to talk about how do I manage it, right? How I manage it. The way you manage it, don't put any stops. and just follow the process and just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Does that, does that feel better?
Yeah, definitely learned a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
So you're welcome. So your job with these, the other three is just to let them run, let them do their thing. All right. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. That's out of your control. Your control, your job is to execute the trade. Our job is to execute the trade properly. And you've done that. That's your job. You've done your job. All right. Time your entry, time your exit. That's it. That's it. Everything else will take care of itself. And the more you do that, the more we do that consistently, the better, more profitable we'll be, the better trading we'll do. All right, guys. And this is a lesson for everyone, right? Because we all do this. We all do this. You guys, the stories that I hear, right? We all do this. And it's okay. This is how we learn, right? But we have to control our emotions. This is systematic. Boom, boom, systematic. All right. Good job, Stella. Good job. Good job with your execution. Good job with learning, figuring out how to manage it. All right. How to manage it. So just work on that. Work on that. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great evening. And I will see you guys at the next class. Be careful with equities, right? Be careful with equities, right? So be careful. The dollar pairs, make sure you guys are in the dollar. Look for opportunities short, right? With the yen pairs, a lot of them have moved out of range, but there's still opportunities, right, to get in. All right. We'll have trades for Sniper tomorrow. We'll have new trades for Sniper. Stock Boss and Bullmaster, stay away. All right, unless it's energy stocks. And even with those, be careful. ETFs, short ETFs are starting to move, right? So these short ETFs are starting to move. So you guys, if you have to trade and go long the equity markets, you can find some short ETFs with Monster ETF. All right, guys, take care. Have a great evening. And good job. Good job, Stella. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.